Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's tour at 10 at almost 11. We're excited to have you here today and to show you some of our favorite things in collection storage. Today, I'm joined by our curator, Jamie Franklin. We thought we'd just kind of do a quick tour of collection storage, which I know many of you have now seen before. But we really want to encourage you with this tour to go online and vote in our People's Choice exhibition survey. So our opening exhibit on July 3rd is your opportunity to pick what you want to see in our People's Choice exhibit. That said, let's turn the camera on to Jamie. And Jamie, welcome. Nice to see you.
Welcome. Good morning.
You're looking very dapper for this beautiful, hot day here in Bennington.
One of my things I always tell everybody is one of the greatest benefits of working at the museum is great climate control.
Especially here in collection storage.
Yes, exactly.
Not a bad place to get to hang out. So Jamie, take us on a little tour and show us some of your favorite things. Maybe I'll chime in or things that I like.
You know, I always have a hard time picking favorites, I'll admit, but you know, there are always wonderful things that jump out at me on a regular basis as I walk through storage. One of them is our patent models. So patent models, you know, anytime somebody wanted to get a patent for one of their ideas in the 19th century, I don't know if it's still required, but they had to actually create a functional model, little miniature model of their idea. And so a lot of these were lost in a fire at the patent offices in Washington, D.C. in the late 19th century. But we have a wonderful collection of patent models, some of them relating to the marble industry here in Vermont, but others just a little random, a soapstone oven. And some of these are like stone channeling machines for the marble industry. And I love our patent models just because there's these little sculptural objects that give us a glimpse into 19th century history. I think one of the objects in the People's Choice surveys is this wonderful Hamlin's Wizard Oil elephant. It was used at the Chandler Country Store, just in Old Bennington, behind the museum here next to the Old First Church, to sell wizard oil, which was one of those popular kind of quack doctor medicines that probably didn't do a whole lot other than make you feel well because it was mostly alcohol. But this sculptural object has really been used to advertise and promote the sales of Hamlin's Wizard Oil. It's just a great, again, sculptural object that gives us a glimpse into the past. This is a wonderful little piece of ceramic. So people who are familiar with Bennington ceramics will probably recognize this Cobalt Flower as being pretty distinctive of Bennington Norton pottery. This was given to us a number of years back by a relative of one of the potters who actually worked at the pottery in the 19th century. In fact, there's some supposition that this little X on the mark was one of his signatures, but this is a very rare cobalt decorated little bank, so you would have saved your coins in it as a little kid, and luckily nobody ever tried to break it open. So it's a rare and beautiful little example of 19th century Bennington ceramics. One of my favorite pieces of stoneware to come into the collection during my tenure here at the museum.
Well, you know, there's just so much stuff, and I think it's just such a great joy of being able to be in this space and see all these things. Now, Jamie, I know you have a little bit of a funny story about collection storage in your first month or so of being at the museum.
So when I first started at the museum in the fall of 2005, of course, any curator who starts at an institution wants to familiarize themselves with the collections. So during those first few months, I was spending a lot of time back here in storage. And so I was back here, and nobody else knew I was back here. And so they locked up. And then when, after, the alarms got set and I didn't realize they had been set, and I exited storage, the alarms went off, and I was greeted very quickly, I must say, by the Bennington police. Luckily, they, nothing happened that was awful, but I said, I'm sorry, I'm new here, I'm the curator, I work here, but that was one of my memories from my early time here at the museum, was getting in storage without people knowing I was here and then setting off the alarms.
Well, there's just so much, so much here that to enjoy and take a look at. Let's go. I'll flip the camera around. You'll see Jamie, the two of us maintaining proper social distance, of course, with our masks on. But there is so much history. There's so much art here in the storages, in collection storage.
There's one object that I really love that's kind of it's actually right here around the corner. And this is actually historically a very important object in our collection. This is actually a ledger that was maintained by Isaac Tickner, who was the commissary for the Continental Army in this region, and later became a governor of Vermont. But I don't necessarily like it as, it's not my favorite object because of that information. That information, of course, is incredibly important. I actually love it because back here in the back is this lovely little ink drawing of an 18th century woman in her corseted, beautiful hat or dress. Her hair is up in this very stylish 18th century style. And I like to think that Isaac Tickner, who was the commissary, who was in his early 20s at the time, he was probably interested in the ladies, and so late one night after he had finished up recording all of the supplies for the Continental Army during the Revolution, sketched this little portrait of a beautiful woman in her dress and her hair. And I love those little kind of peeks into history that aren't necessarily the typical facts. I mean, what people were eating, what was being stored in Bennington is important, but it's those little glimpses that I always love.
Yeah, there's little glimpses of social history that you sometimes just stumble upon. And, you're right, it's fun to see those things and use your imagination and think, what was he thinking? What was he, was this a lady that he had a crush on? Or was he an artist and never, had a chance to pursue that? It's great, just great. So as we come down, what's also really great about the collections here is that they span so many centuries. I just kind of walk back, but I'll show you. This is part of our textile collection. These are our military uniform collection, which is part of the People's Choice. Lots of furniture. There is, of course, in the People's Choice Award, your favorite furniture. I think one of the things I enjoy quite a bit about collection storage, I just love pulling out these racks and being able to look at all these wonderful paintings. And there is something special about seeing the paintings not on the walls, but kind of all grouped together.
This, of course, is a large group of paintings by Grandma Moses. Most of what you see here is one of her famous checkered houses, one of her last paintings. This is actually a painting by Forrest Moses. Many of the Moses family members went on to pursue art careers. So yeah, it is fun to be able to see them. This isn't how a curator thinks, but it's a good way to store things. Group things alike things together.
Kind of reminds me of the Barnes collection in a kind of way. But yep. So there we go. That is a little brief tour of collection storage with Jamie and I. And just encouraging you to go online. The link will be in this video. Right below us will be the link so that you can go on and pick the objects you want to see when we reopen on July 3rd. With the People's Choice exhibition. So until the next time, we wish you to stay strong, stay safe, and stay creative. We cannot wait to see you all on July 3rd. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.